Hmm. I'm still hesitating. If I make it a template and therefore a header, then you have to compile everything with optimization. This thing really has to be compiled with optimization. And I always compile without optimization, really. Hello, Gino Viva Rubio Labrada. My God. Thank you for all the flowers. The fruit. Yeah. So I'm thinking of a way to, if it is possible, to move everything into some header at least, because it's a template then. And then compile the header with optimization while using it in a compilation unit that otherwise is or should be compiled without optimization. Different compile flags. I guess that's not possible if it is a header. It's just going to use the same compile flags as the whole compilation unit. See, that is a problem. And an alternative, kind of dirty alternative, but definitely an alternative, is to use a macro as a compile flag, which determines the compression. Which then becomes a part of the yeah, only if you use it in a library it would become mandatory thing to define when you use that. For example, if I put this in utils, then I would still not be able to change it. Unless I add a CMake option to choose the prime compression in utils, to utils itself. Hello, Matthias. Yeah, what to do, what to do. I really don't think this belongs in a header. It just doesn't. At least not the constructor. I can put a few things that are inlined in the header, I guess, or that do definitely those that do not depend on the compression. These cons expression things, for example. Think about if this is avoidable. If the compression is actually a macro that is being defined on the command line when compiling, something close to that. So this is the user API, and we definitely want to call stuff like is prime, for as an example, which just calls is in sieve and then the sieve itself. So end to index is absolutely necessary. I guess I want this to be inlined or not. Maybe we can make this a function. So now it's an inline function. It's defined in the header. I'm not sure if that's necessary. This uses index to n. It seems that end to index and index to n would be nice if they were inlined. And then that one maybe too. And yeah, those use primordial and repeat. So if you want to inline that, then these must be const expressions defined in the header. And I think that means that the const expressions that calculate them must be defined in the header. Sorry, I'm thinking about if I want the header to be dependent on that macro, aka the compression, aka these values. I already have them in the header now, but this is then a fixed sieve, so these values are fixed, not depending on the compression. But yeah, the other sieve that I use to calculate the primes has its own sieve for that reason, and I really want to get rid of this sieve. Let's just use the sieve that was used to begin with. Okay, I feel myself going in the direction of adding a compilation, let's say a utils configure option that determines the compression. And then we have a macro that is defined, and then I can use that for the compression. And now we have to move certain stuff to the header file, but not everything. Most notably the constructor, of course, which is just calling, let's say, already not in the header now. And neither this one. Yeah, maybe I should go away from this thing and put it in utils already. Now I have to add an CMake option. Okay, step 1, I'm going to move these two to utils. Get the GitHub submodule. We already have utils here. Oh, there are even untracked files at the moment. So that seems easy. ls utils. Move both the primes thing to utils. Well, then I have to remove them here from the CMake file, because they are now going to be just part of that list here. That's all. Plus, now I have to include this header from utils. So grab all files that include primes.h. So just these two. Makes sense. And it is already inside the namespace utils, so probably should get used to just adding something like this, though. Of course, that's a bit long here. Hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi is here. And Gosei just entered as well. Hello. Yep, I think I did this correctly. That one already has the using stuff, even for the primes. That might be everything. So now I have to fix utils, of course, to include these things. So this will also be the CMake file. I just need a source files, I suppose. Here are source files. Let's just add it. Primes. That looks like alphabetic order. PQR. Primes.cxx. And then here we have the header. So now those have been added to utils, and I can't think of anything else really. Let's try to compile this. Did that work? I think it worked. Let's run nth prime, but not something that runs for 30 minutes. So that's the largest number that I tested so far. I'm going for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is 1 billion. No, see that, that's correct. Okay, so we moved it successfully to utils. Yeah, medium level C++ project. Generate prime numbers. As long as you make it not as difficult as I am doing, you can do it very easy. Keep it easy and slower. So my next step was adding a configuration option. How does that work? That has nothing to do with C++, but it does have to do with, yeah, my own system of working with CMake. And I forgot how that works, of course. I'm having a configure in.h here. Configure.h.in. That allows me to set debug variables like that one. And cons expressions. Well, this is clearly a cons expression. Oh, yeah. Why would I use macro when I can use a cons expression? Great. Let's steal this. Add it. Change it. I'm going to call this, you see all those cons expressions end on _c. Maybe, you know, in a double attempt to avoid namespace collisions. So I'm going to call this something _c, and well, compression, but it may be a bit short. Let's call it primes compression. I mean, no namespace collision is going to happen there. CW, that's me, also avoiding namespace collisions, not because I'm wanting to throw my name around or anything. Primes compression, yep. Good, I think that's it. Yeah, this has to be fixed, of course. That is now that thing. And then you have to describe it. What is it? I don't even understand the whole type thing. Typed, yeah, of course it's a typed. It's a const expression. Those things they usually have types. So that would be 3, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Okay, so there's a number of primes and that are skipped. But not, yeah, well, it's a bit, should I describe it correctly? And then it's the number of primes, okay, that I'm just gonna do this. So really it is like the sieve that is used in class primes contains all integers, but we skip the integers that are divisible by one of the first primes compression C primes. But that's a mouthful. A bit too much for this comment here, I think. I want to keep this one to a sentence. Well, that should work, except of course now we don't have this. And I'm going to steal how to define that by looking at how I defined that one. What is this? And this. No, I just looked at that one. This one. This is probably auto builds, which I'm not even supporting anymore. Should remove it because I don't want to support the auto tools anymore. Here's a better example, I guess. This is literally adding something, and a new option. That was the configure thing then. Okay, anyway, what was the other one? I wanted to look at it anyway. Configure this one. That's M4. That's also auto tools, I think. Right, so and we have to look at that one. Something with option. CW option. Options, there we are. Kind of related to the option here, so maybe I should add my new option here. Yeah, I'm kind of new to setting an integer, I must say. This is enable. Dude, can I even set integer options with my CW option thing? I'm afraid this is only for booleans. Yeah, it is only for booleans. So let's not use it then. So I have to use a normal, the normal option, and I have no idea how that works. So I ask ChatGPT. Those are the things that GTP usually knows. How do I add an configure option to CMake lists.text that allows the user to define an integer? No, 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 no. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess that's how it works. It's kind of silly though. You see, if I look at my environment, then here I set my environment and I set my CMake configure options as a bash array, and also the boolean things. Well, this one says that it is a boolean, this one doesn't, but that works as well apparently. They are actually just defines that you pass to CMake. So I am going to add here a new option that is just defining, and then apparently I can't call it enable. It's primes compression. Yeah? Does that look good? I think so. This one also starts with an uppercase, so let's do that here as well. Plus primes is the class name with the uppercase P. It doesn't say anywhere that this is utils, no. However, yeah, it's kind of silly, I think, but well. So we have now define. Well, maybe not. It's a CMake define, right? So it's not an actual define that is used during compilation. We are going to turn this into a const expression in a header, which we then can just use without this. I need this for utils, so maybe let's see if I can add a comment here, like need it for utils. Probably I can add a default. So if I don't add it, then it's just always 6. What am I doing? And then nobody's going to know about this option, and so it will always be 6 anyway. Okay, well, let's finish this. So now we have this defined as a CMake variable thingy. Well, we can only set the default value. Yeah, I'm afraid that's how CMake works. Okay, so I'm still confused that there's no option. So of course there should be option. I'm gonna ask. How come that you didn't use option? Boolean options. Oh. So it was a Boolean thing from the beginning, and I extended it a bit, but it's still Booleans. Good, okay, then we know that. No option then, okay. So we define CW prime compression, or was it? Primes compression. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the same thing, right? I'm messing up here. Dip, blip. Default 6, it is an int, and the description was I don't think less than 3 works. It's kind of annoying. But okay, 326. Seriously, the only messages I have. I'm inclined to use the same as here, just debug level. Although I wonder if that is enough. Shouldn't options be shouted out a little bit higher level, info or whatever? Well, here we see we have a set now for this. And here we have a set for debug global. But I don't think that was what is being used here. We have a CMake define debug global, so maybe it is. Although nobody knows what that's doing, CMake define. I need this thing to be set. This is not what I was doing. Here we have primes compression. That's the actual option that I want. Now it looks more like this one. Option, whatever you have to set. Let's just print out what it is. So this line is now that line, and this line is that line, I guess. And we don't have an if because it should always be set. It's not a boolean to begin with. Let's have a look if this works. Implicitly converting into string. That's what ChatGPT told me to use. Oh. Cache in the journal. Okay, let's test it then. It doesn't know or something. No, it makes it a string. I don't believe it anymore. Yeah, and then you only have string here. What the fuck, dude? I need the documentation of sets. Sets. Do we have examples? That would be nice. Nope. Where will the value? But I literally not documented it, or am I not reading correctly, diagonally and stuff? They say type here, and then I don't see type. Oh, there it is. Type must be one off. Bool file path, blah, blah. Okay, so there's literally no int. It's not a boolean, not a file path, not a path. Must be a string. That's the only thing that exists. Okay. I'll be so kind to tell it. Yeah. Type int or integer that does not exist for cache variables. The only options are how to lose time with ChatGPT. So we set this to the string 6. Can set it to anything. Let's try again. Here's utils, configuring. Yeah, utils. It's not printing it. Can someone explain to me why it is not printing it? Man, this is such a mess. ChatGPT completely screwed up. So we have to figure it out ourselves, I guess. Oh, we'll call it options. Maybe that's the reason. Let's blame ChatGPT anyway, but... Thank God that worked, but it's still not printing anything. Well, it's printing that I have that in my array, but it's a debug level output or something like that. So let's try for a second. Printing this to status. How the hell is that possible? It is printing it. I'm just blind. It's literally shouting in my face. And that was new. At least it was new. It's not here. So apparently my my output is not debug level for CMake. It should be, however. What the hell? Change that back to debug. It disappeared. That is so weird. What about this one? Is that being printed? I mean, that's also debug and it should be printed. It's also not printed. So my debug output is just, its level is not debug despite this thing. What the hell? Yeah. See, make log level. Oh, literally bloody sets it to status here. That is the reason then. So I should not do this because I have it already in my. Well, actually, I was thinking that was overriding it maybe. So I set it by default to status, and then this one overrides it. But it seems that that is not what is happening. What directory are we in now? I guess in the current directory. It's not changing directory at all. So we do that, we get that, and then I'm going to replace that line with what it is printing here. Still status. So apparently it's not overriding it. It's not overriding it. So I remove this. It's still status. Okay, now I'm confused. Is that because the build type is release? That would be ridiculous. See, make build type is also set twice. Still status. Debug level. Log level. Still status. Someone's messing with me. Here it is, debug. Oh boy. Someone is messing with my debug level somewhere. So that doesn't work. We're going to have to set, this is like the default value, yeah. So I literally have to do cache string default debug level. Now it should work. Now it is debug. Very good. So now we have it printed that the compression is 6. And then of course if I change it to 5, for example, now it should be using that. Yep, that worked. And you have in the object directory utils, we have a generated config file, which now says static const expression int primes compression C is 5. So we have it as a const expression. Yay! Okay, added an option. Now I have to use the option. So in utils, primes.cxx for now. I'm defining a compression. This is an int, thank God. We have to replace it with that. Let's just literally replace it. It's more common than anything else. The way around already. So I deleted the compression, so if I missed one, then it should not compile. Oh, the thing is defined in config. That majorly sucks because I don't want to add a config everywhere. Well, everywhere. I might as well have done compression is config primes compression. Oh, you can still do that. Or what shall I do? It's too long. It's too long. I'm going to go back, I think. So I just replace everything back with well, maybe not, because anyway, const expression int compression is config primes compression. It was it said must be less than 7 or things overflow, and that doesn't fit. That's why. That is why. Really. I think I'm going to keep them in the comments. Or maybe not. And if not, then I might as well just globally replace everything. Except now I fuck up that one thing. Yeah, so I better make this type now a function of the compression. Dude, how do I overload this? Like that? Or like that? Apparently like this. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there must be max, isn't it? Let's say this is 5, which means this. Then I can also use smaller types. So it is min, yeah. And I have to convert max sieve word type to an int. So that would be the I can just do the log 2 of. Seriously, do I want to do log 2? Not really. It's kind of silly to do it like this. I'm just gonna do const expression int max sieve word type is 6. Let's call it size. Possibilities 3, 4, 5, 6. Mushroom says, would the code not run quicker naturally if we run it on better hardware? Yeah. At the cost of more energy, of course, and the cost of the hardware to begin with. And usually the algorithm is way, way, way higher. If you want something faster, improve the algorithm. And only when you have the absolute best algorithm, there's nothing to improve anymore. Then I would put more cost into hardware. For example, if you use the wrong algorithm to calculate primes, it's going to take months and months or years even to calculate these prime numbers that I now do in half an hour. And then no amount of hardware would be able to fix it unless you spend literally $1 billion. It's just silly. The algorithm is way more important. I mean, hardware is like always linear order, right? So order in. So let's say you spend $1 billion, then you'll win a constant factor. But if you change your algorithm from order n to order log n, then suddenly it becomes 1 million times faster without doing much else than just picking the right algorithm. I'd rather make my algorithm 1 million times faster than buying 1 million PCs. Couldn't afford my electricity bill then. I forgot what I was doing, of course. It runs, yeah. Okay, so I added the new option out for the compression. And we have the cons expression in the utils config.h. So then what is next? I think next is going back to utils. I keep doing that. And then primes. Moving stuff that needs to be moved to the header file. In other words, I think that the header file is probably going to need, like I said, the primordial. So I want this to be in the header file. And the repeat, these two at least. Which means that we need these two functions besides the compression. And those functions use small primes, and that is recursive call. And it's also small primes, so just small primes. Which is thankfully rather small. Okay, let's move these. I'm going to do it little by little, I think. Let's remove small primes. Put it in here. I'm going to put everything in the class, of course. And this is all going to be replaced or removed. So let's put it at the top. Let's make all const expressions public, even though I'm not sure the user should be bothered with it really, but well. Now it's part of a class, we better make it static, otherwise... It's still a bit dubious, I have to say. I think that officially you have to put it in a .cxx as well. To instantiate it. I mean, normally if you remove the const expression, then obviously the static array must be instantiated somewhere. So you put it in a .cxx or .cpp file. Now if you add const expression, then the whole thing might be inlined wherever you use it, so you don't have a reference anymore to the real thing. So it links if you don't instantiate it. But for example, it would be allowed to take a pointer to this. If we pass a thing by a reference to some function, then that wouldn't work. I mean, then it wouldn't link because unless we instantiate it. So you have to instantiate it anyway, really. So maybe I should not have removed it, even though I put it here. But then again, it has to be defined here now because it's a const expression. So how would I instantiate the thing? Not even sure that is possible. I'll have to try it out. First, let's just put it here, not in the .cxx file anymore. And then we have, this prime type is now really the other prime type from the other file, which happens to be the same prime type. So Now small primes is inside primes. Calc row 0. Is inside the constructor. So this now picks it up already. Maybe I should rename it also. It's now a cons expression thing, but it's also a member-ish. So I want to make it clear that it is a static thing and that it is a member. And then we go to the top. Okay, so this should also be moved to primes. It's a cons expression, or really have to move it to the header. On the other hand, if I give it that name, it's kind of a silly name for something that's public. I'll keep it public anyway. I refuse to rename it. It's public. Suppose someone is working with primes and needs the very small primes. It would be stupid to force them to create their own little array if it already exists, just because I made it private. So I make all cons expressions public. If there's even the slightest chance that someone might need it in the future somewhere. But then on the other hand, public things maybe shouldn't have underscores at the end and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a style question. There's no good answer to it. Mushroom, yeah, sorry. Yes, it's Linux. I don't know. I feel like renaming it back. It just looks a bit silly this way. So let's go with the feeling. This thing is using prime index now. Again, the reason that I moved calc primordial and calc repeat is because I wanted these two to be part of the header. So these three definitely have to be moved. And might as well make this available to the user. I'm just going to move all of them, I guess. See if we can move this a little bit closer here. Top. Hardly. We want to line it up with the top. Now, after moving these inside the primes class, and everything should almost stop to compile, I guess. These are all the things that start with compression underscore. Pretty much. Well, not all of them. So I'll have to do it manually anyway then. This one anyway. Primes. Maybe we should just remove compression from it. Compression repeat, primordial. Don't want to put primes in front of it here, but if I remove compression later, then I want to. So yeah. So let's have a look at everything. Because man, I have so many comments. We skip the comments for now. We are around. I'm not sure if it compiles now. Let me just try that, I guess. I have the feeling it cannot compile, but nope. Variable compression primordial must be initialized by a constant expression. Yep, and it is. Okay, that's annoying. Suddenly it doesn't work anymore because I moved it to a class. What? Is this seriously the case? Okay, that's highly, highly, highly annoying. It says it is undefined now. Is that the reason? Going to try something. It says that it's undefined, so let's be more insistent. Still undefined. Shocking. Okay, let's put them in the namespace then. I'm just guessing that you can't do this in That's really weird, man. You can't do this in a class, that's my guess. But yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this. I don't like that primes occurs here too, twice. I mean, I'm going to say primes colon small and delete this primes. But it doesn't read very well either. Then you have to read right to left. Oh, yeah, compiles. So you move the view stuff. See if we can move more. Yeah, it isn't even used inside the anonymous namespace anymore. Integer. Is anonymous namespace. They did make an abbreviation here, but this is not used inside the anonymous namespace. So yeah, well, let's not do that then. Yeah, we might need this one as well. I'm going to access the sieve from the user API. So we need to know the memory layout, I guess. If / when working with a row and columns. And that uses row 0. Oh no. I don't want to have row 0 as a const expression array in my header. No way. Is that going to be super annoying? I think I have to do that anyway, right? So if you take a compression of 6, you're gonna have a huge array in the header. Really bad. Dang. I don't want to move this to the header, really. I don't. I'll think of something else. Maybe I have to revisit this comment. But well. Primes. So the whole idea is then that we remove sieve and simply use this sieve here. Which then no longer should be deleted at the end. Not at the end of the constructor. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not nice at all. This is not nice at all. Primordial, if I use the other sieve, then primordial is 30,030. Beat is 5,760. So this array is huge. Well, huge, more than 30 kilobytes. This is actually almost equal to row 0, which then also has to be put in the header. And these are primes, so they fit in gars now, but yeah, not any longer if I make this large. So that must become two different tables, I guess. What you really would want to do, I suppose, is use this if you have low compression. And if the compression is higher, then replace the whole table with something else, or even with two tables. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It is difficult. It is difficult. It's not difficult in the terms of that I could just move stuff and up and it works and I'm done with it. But at the back of my head, I realized that I would be putting 100 kilobyte of stuff in the header as an pulse expression array. I mean, nah. So something is wrong with this approach. Is it currently working? I did edit something or edit just one more file. Next. Quit. So it is working in the sense that that cell works. So okay, and what I wanted to do was I want to get rid of this sieve here. I want to get rid of this vector here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, if I can just remove it, right? Can delete the vector bool. And then this won't compile anymore, but it's definitely what we're going to change then. And then I have another one here in next prime, but that is also just testing. So I need a way to test a given index, test if that prime exists, or if the integer corresponding to this index is a prime or not. Then you have to ask the sieve. Which means I need an n2 index. And I already have that, I think. No, I don't. For that I would need the S table, and that's a problem then. Or is it a problem? I mean, it's not a cons expression function. I could just I could just put the table in a .cxx file. The only problem then is that if you do a lot of calls, then you have a lot of cache misses again. Because currently it fits in a single cache line, this table. But if I make it 30 kilobytes, then it doesn't. Dude, that would be destroying my cache. It would be pretty damn beneficial if I had a formula, so I could just calculate it instead of doing a table lookup, if you ask me. Both of them or just one of them? N2 index is necessary. And index to n. Index to n is used for the output of next prime. I think I just have to do away with wanting to have these functions to be inline then, which is very annoying because all the work I did in the past 2 hours is based now an hour I think was moving stuff to the header because I wanted these functions to be inlined. And then I realized that maybe that's not the best idea then. Nah, I do want them to be inlined. Yeah, I know I do want them to be inlined, but the table lookup itself not. So this should just be an external table then. Which it already seems to be. That is already the case. Ooh, okay. It's just a big array, but I'm not really... It's static, so yeah. Maybe things are not as bad as I thought. Except for the cache being destroyed then. Yeah. Gonna stick at the table lookup, I think. This is more about saving memory. And so, yeah. It's complicated, as they say. Let's move the sieve from the previous file. Right, I was towards EXX to there. So let's move this thing to the header, I think, to the primed class. That I already have a sieve underscore, so I'll have to rename one of them. Let's keep this. Oops, keep calling this one sieve, so then the other one has to be renamed quickly. I don't think I use it outside of the header, the other one. It's extremely unlikely. If I do, that would be prime sieve. Nope. Okay, so let's call this one I don't know, vector sieve. It's gonna delete it anyway. That's all. And then I need a sieve word type. Oh boy, I need a sieve word type. Yeah, we do. Okay, let's move that first then. Sieve word type is all of that. Might as well put it in namespace primes. It's also the header. Hello rain. I mean hello rain. Yeah, what I'm doing. I'm explaining what I'm doing. I have been explaining it for the last 2 hours. Well, I'll summarize it. I'm making a prime generator. I already have it actually, but now I'm having something that uses 2 sieves. One for sieving and one for to keep. For the user to use during running of their program. To figure out if an integer is a prime, but then I use more memory than I have, so Wyszynski, yeah. Trying to get rid of one of the sieves, the vector sieve. Yeah, now we have that bloody namespace. Suddenly I need to move everything there. Compression. Of course I could use this here. Just wanted to avoid that. Oh well. Undeclared identifier sieve word type in .cxx, so the whole header worked already. Sieve word type, we're just going to add a new using, I guess, here. Member initializes sieve does not name a non-static data member or a base class. Yeah, that's because I renamed it. So I did use sieve here already. Of course I did. The other one is called sieve without an underscore at the moment. So all of these things has to be renamed to vector sieve now, and then I will remove them in soon, today, I hope. So let's look for sieve. Seriously? I type a P and then vector sieve. Right, so it seems that that was moved. Okay, so now it's time to put that variable in the class. It's going to be my main sieve underscore. It's going to be the only sieve. But we start with just moving it. The only thing. I just wanted to be here. Okay, so we go back. And that means that now it is called sieve underscore. And I should probably initialize it. Let's initialize with a null pointer. And then we're going to need a destructor, which I also put here. That does destruction for me, and I am using malloc, and I'll probably keep doing that. I think that you can call free with null pointer without a problem. No need to test that. Can you? You can do it for delete, I'm sure of that. Not really sure for free actually. Free. Yeah, pointer to null operation is no operation is performed, so that works. No. Then I should rename all the sieves with sieve underscore. Let's look for sieve followed by anything but an underscore. Right, I think that's it. Did not add it to the header. Might as well do this inline, right? So it's blah blah. Yeah. I mean, it's very, very short. And free is probably declared in, I don't know, new? Don't think I included a header. That comes from C, that's C standard lib. Okay, I need that in the header now. VI, we just get both of them again. It's not even here. It did compile, but it's kind of missing, right? So C standard header, I'll include C standard header for the full free, and then we also have it now in the CXX because that's including the header for milk. So this thing now works, and we have access to the sieve in the header, which is all I wanted, I think. So now we want to delete, or at the very least begin with stopping to use the vector sieve. Vector sieve is currently still there, and it's filled in the constructor together with this sieve. So we have two sieves, so they're just completely duplicates. One being less efficient than the other though. This one is less efficient. And we use it, for example, in is prime by, well, using it as a vector, Boolean vector. Is in C basically answers the question if it is divisible by one of the skipped primes. So we skip 6 primes, so I could do 6 modulo there to figure out if the or I could multiply those primes and then calculate the greatest common divisor between the two, but that involves a few modulo as well. It in the end, of course, it depends on the compression and what is the fastest algorithm. This seems pretty fast. We have to do this always, and then we have to find out. Well, actually, do we have to do that? But this would be the first step when we calculate the greatest common divisor. So we don't have to do it if we use the GCD. But yeah, for a compression of 3, this is pretty fast. I mean, you cannot avoid a single modulo. So we do a single modulo and then we do a shift, which is 1 clock cycle, I think, and then we do an AND, also 1 clock cycle. And this thing is just an int, so that is a const expression, literal. So this is like a modulo and maybe one assembly instruction. So that's super fast, which works for compression 3. Compression 3 has a primordial of 30, so that's why it works. And the next compression 4, would be 30 times 10. No. Really? No, this times 11. No, it's not. Primordial, yes, of course. Times 7. I found it. So it was 30 times the next prime is 7. That's it. 210. Yeah, I mean, could still use a bit set. Or we could test a bit. That's what we are really doing here, am I not? I mean, one shifted is just a single bit. So I'm testing if a bit is set in this thing here. I might as well use a bit set with a fixed size. The only problem then that this thing becomes very large, so 30 kilobytes, at the largest compression. So it cannot be inlined anymore then. So then is in sieve becomes a function call. Yeah, what to do? Or wait a minute, can I not just use 210 myself fit in here? Could just define the sieve mask for compression 3 and 4, and then for 5 and 6 use the GCD. In the end we are going to use 5 and 6 all the time anyway, of course. Especially for the larger things, which are the slowest ones. Well, the next one would be 210 times 11, right? So that's 2310 bits. That's already too large to put in my header. 289 bytes. Memory bandwidth is also a problem. I think the GCD is not a bad idea. That's pure CPU. And then we don't have to read 288 or even 30 kilobytes of memory all the time. I'm wondering if I cannot just skip this if I use GCD. I mean, skip this. Wait, what am I saying? The whole thing becomes a GCD, yeah, so I don't need that. But it is faster probably for... Okay, we're going to do this. So I'm going to move this to the namespace for a starter. Oh, wait a minute, now I'm making a really big change. I better save this first to Git. Currently it works. Plus I have to shower and eat. So I think I'm gonna stop for now after putting it on GitHub. Okay, git add everything. Command line one word, probably. Mint. Come on. You can just push it from here, I suppose. Git status. Utils, yeah, git status. So just two new files. Diff primes and rhymes and a new option. guess the option is implicit, but I'll mention it anyway. Git add primes.cxx and .h. Git commit add primes.cxx. I guess I should delete fast prime 7 because I moved it to utils now. The whole thing. It's probably force gone with it. VICM. It's already gone here. It was already gone here. Yeah, this is work in progress. Might as well commit it, but not yet. What is that? That's Watkin 3 and nth prime. Okay, well I can do that. And remove the other one. Definitely have to add this. New deleted, and we looked at that div, so that's all. Watkin, I'll do later, so I'm going to do this commit. Bip. I'm out of fantasy here, just work in progress. And then oh, I should have added those two. Because that's definitely something that belongs to this mint. Still VIP, but now we also have CWM4 and utils here. And then that one, yeah, I could commit it, I guess. Also VIP. Yay, clean. Okay, I'm going to start my day because it's starting to get dark outside. Me being the real vampire type. I'll be back later. Poshinsky, yeah. I hope for you that they probably won't teach you this. Computer science is teaching you algorithms and stuff like that, not practical programming. You have to make that your hobby. Or am I saying something wrong?